spent in a miserable way.
U.S. News: Trump administration says it would require extraordinary effort to reunite migrant families. An asylum-seeking boy from Central America runs down a hallway December the 11th, 2018, after arriving from an immigration detention center to a shelter in San Diego. An asylum-seeking boy from Central America runs down a hallway December the 11th, 2018, after arriving from an immigration detention center to a shelter in San Diego. And the administration says it would require extraordinary effort to reunite what may be thousands of migrant children who have been separated from their parents, and, even if it could, the children would likely be emotionally harmed. Jonathan White, who leads the Health and Human Services Department's efforts to reunite migrant children with their parents, said removing children from sponsor homes to rejoin their parents would present grave child welfare concerns. He said the government
Raindrop, drip, drop top, top smoking